Hey everyone, Alan back with another package and pickups video. Before we get down to the main goodies, I'd just like to do a bit of I guess you say housekeeping. Last week I put up a video about Wreck-It Ralph, and it's basically a competition video. In case you haven't seen it, you could win one of the official movie posters, or this little art card that has a download for an Xbox avatar thing. So it's free to enter. I'll post anywhere in the world, so go check it out. Link in description below, maybe an annotation depending on how lazy or not I'm feeling. I'm probably going to run the competition for about another week or so, and then I'll do a video announcing the winner, or winners, because there'll be two prizes. So anyway, with that out of the way, on to the good stuff. Packages. Well, no, they're not packages. Everything's a pickup this time, and largely, as the title will probably say, from some car boots. Some very, very, very cold car boots. Over the Halloween period, there was a few kind of car boots around here locally, which we normally don't have. But you know, they figured getting on to the dead of winter, getting cold, now let's hold the car boots. Yeah, that's the perfect time when it's freezing. So by God, yeah, went out and it was like early and it was so cold. And the first one at least, it was just so cold. There wasn't a hell of a lot of stuff there, and I didn't even want to pick, like, there was some PlayStation 2 games. Honestly, I didn't even want to pick them up. I was that cold. I didn't want to take my hands out of my pockets, so I was like, leave them. I might see them in CEX or something. There wasn't particularly anything remarkable anyway, so a bit of a bust. But continued on with it, and unusually found some items, because the last time they had, one of the places where they had the car boot this time, is basically one of the boys' schools around here, and a couple of years back they had a car boot there as well, similar time of the year, and literally I think 2 vans turned up and that was it. It was complete bust, so wasn't expecting much, but there was actually a few bit of items. What we go with first? Okay, this one was a bit of a boob. I seen Dirty Own Lavasu. Yeah, he made some boobs at the car boot, or actually it wasn't at the car boot, I think it was just around town, but yeah, I made a boob at the car boot, and I picked up a PSP game, Final Fantasy Crisis Core, Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core. Now I like Final Fantasy 7, even though I'm not an RPG guy generally, and I seen this, and it basically was $2.50 I got it for, and I said, okay, I'll go with that. $2.50, can't really go too wrong, and it was all complete or whatever. But I did not notice at the time, because I just looked at the title, front cover, opened it up, looked in grand condition, thought, grand, not a bother on it. I don't know if this will come out in camera, but it's in French or Spanish, or I'm not too sure. It is not in English, that's for damn sure. And I kind of thought, okay, I'll put it on, maybe there'll be a menu, the packaging might be in a foreign language, but the game might have a text option. Nope, I can't find an option. Of course, I looked through the manual. I couldn't read the manual to see if there was an option. So, if there's a way to play this in English, please let me know. That'd be great. The cinemas are actually in English, so I could watch the cinemas. The menus and whatnot. I don't know, maybe you could blunder your way through. I didn't really get too much into it. I kind of left it aside when I realised I'd kind of messed up. But however, $2.50, it's hardly the end of the world. But that was kind of the only downer bit, I guess. Next, I picked up some Xbox original games, and these were. It was at a stall where it was largely just DVDs, and the DVDs were marked as €2 a piece or 3 for a fiver. So I looked through, and in the box they had 3/4. Actually, no, they might have had. They had one more, 5, but I think I already had that Xbox game, so I left it. Xbox game, so I was kind of, are they pricing these the same as DVDs? And the first one that really caught my eye, and this is what I wanted to pick them up, was the Grand Theft Auto double pack. So this is they call it the Xbox collection. It's rather nice actually. I like this kind of silver packaging. It folds out, and each of the, it's basically Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto Vice City in rather nice packaging, and it's all complete in perfect condition. All the maps and whatnot, and the discs are spotless, so really, really nice. And I was kind of thinking to myself, are they going to count this as one game or 2 games? So I decided what I'll do is I'll pick it up, I'll hold it that way, like a spine, like it's one. I'll pick up two more and say, are these 3 for 5, and see where it gets me. So the other two games that I didn't have were Need for Speed Underground 2. That is Underground 2, yeah, and it's complete in perfect condition too. Being an Egan though, I actually thought it didn't have the manual. The manual was so thin in there. I thought it was an advertisement brochure or something. Oh my. And a 2-month trial for Xbox Live. Somehow I doubt that'll work anymore. Unscratched and everything. But that was that one, and then it was Dead or Alive 3. Of course, boobs ahoy, but you know, it's meant to be a good game, so complete perfect condition, has the adverts and paraphernalia in it too, and a nice chunky manual, although probably a lot of languages. No, it's largely in English actually, it's all about the fighters. More like a proper manual than these crappy EA things. So I picked up those three, recognisable decent titles I thought, and said 3 for 5, and they said sure. And when I was paying, we're just chatting, I said, yeah, you don't happen to have any more, because I mean the condition they were in was just, if they got more at that sort of price, I'll pick them up. And they said, no, in fact we didn't think we'd sell those Xbox games at all, so maybe I should have offered less. That's always my problem. But yeah, they said we have the console at home somewhere, but that, no, we you know, that's the only games we have. So that was a pity, but however, I was pleased to just, you know, for me to pick up 4 games, albeit one, well, 3, 4, however you count that, and the PSP, I was like, this is a good day, because normally you see Tutor UK and people like that picking up loads of stuff at the car, but not the same over here at all. But I did manage to pick up something a bit more out of the ordinary for me, and it's a new system, at a car boot sale. Wow. Now, before I get to that, just tease it a little, there was another stall there that was actually selling a fair bit of retro stuff, and they Mega Drives, Master Systems, Commodores, Game Boys, Game Boy Advances, Game Boy Colors, you know, kind of a fair bit of stuff, a lot of PlayStation stuff too. But the prices, you know, the consoles weren't that bad, really. They were selling Game Boy Advance SPs for about 12 to 15, but this would just be a loose console. But they were fairly beat up. PlayStation's 15 to 25 generally. You know, then it was kind of upwards on that. They had, I thought it was quite amusing, they had the Commodore 64 and a sticker on it basically saying, perfect working order, but just needs a new graphics card and it'll be fine. Graphics card? A Commodore 64? What are you talking about? It just has a video display chip, and what the hell's the name of that? The VIC chip. VIC chip 2, I think it is. It's not a graphics card, you can't replace it. You know, talk about just chancing around. They had a bunch of games, but again, you know, like the Mega Drive games, and they were 10 or upwards type of thing. A few of them maybe you would say was, you know, if you were buying them local, you didn't want to, you know, eBay and pay packet and postage on it. You know, $10's not that bad, because at least for me, postage for a single Mega Drive game, Master System game these days, is about £5, which is close to €6. So €10 for a game, that's not that ridiculous, as expensive as it sounds. But you know, I didn't really want to. I said, okay, if I'm going to buy some Mega Drive stuff, I'll probably try and bundle it up on eBay, and you know. Plus, it was quite. I found because it was wet out as well, some of the games were getting damp. People had obviously left them out or taken them out of cold storage or whatever, and you know, the inserts were getting damp, which was not something I was, you know, particularly pleased of. So I left all those. A few other stalls then had did PlayStation 2s. Geez, one woman, she had a loose PlayStation 2, I think it was the fat model, a loose iToy, a controller, a memory card, and one loose disc. It was like iToy Play. Maybe there was a second iToy game as well, I can't remember. She wanted, it was either 40 or €50 for that. It was, you know, when people asking that, and she wasn't alone, there was others asking similar. It's like, good luck, you know, not even worth entertaining, not for that type of system. So that's the type of thing you normally get at car boots over here, not the deals that you often see people picking up. But I did manage to pick up one system that was, not bad for the price. It was worth a punt. And it is a Gamecom, a new handheld, touchscreen technology, woo, internet connectivity and so on. So there we see the back. It's got like 6 built-in functions. What did they say? Yeah, Batman and Robin, Lights Out 2 games, and calendar, calculator, solitaire, phone book, high score save, and optional internet email access. Very, very progressive. If it all worked really well, it would have been bloody impressive for what was this, 1998, 1999? It was late 90s, I think, when this came out. So yeah, it would have been pretty impressive, but of course it wasn't. It wasn't a great system. But most of the stuff was all in there in decent nick. So you have all the manuals. A little baggy. I actually didn't think the manuals were there, but they were underneath the box. So we have the system manual. We have Indy 500, which I'll get in a bit, because obviously that's not on the box. Lights Out and Batman Returns. The Batman one's got a little torn at the back, but that's because it was underneath and there was some sticky stuff that I must have torn it off at some point. But hardly the biggest complaint. I've got to get this stuff in. That's the worst thing about doing these videos. I'll put it up for a side for a moment. So, I opened up the box, and at the time, it just looked like this. So you had the system, no stylus, and one game. So for whatever reason, I didn't decide to take it out and really look around through it or anything. It was quite busy around the area, so I just picked up the box and said to her, "How much is this?" And she said, "$5." So I said, "Oh, it's missing. It's missing one of the cards. Would you do it for $4 or something? Knock it a bit off?" She says, "Oh yeah, sure, go on." So I probably should have do it for $3, but I kind of thought $3, for a system, probably not. She might have looked for more. But as it turns out, when I took the system out later on, because I said I didn't really pick it up or anything, in the cartridge slot was Lights Out, because of course I completely forgot that the original model for the Gamecom has 2 cartridge slots, and as a nice bonus, it actually had an extra game, Indy 500. Don't have the box for Indy 500, but I have the manual and the cartridge. That's not too bad. And it did actually, and again, I should have checked. I've taken them, out. It actually came with a new pair of Energizer batteries. So, else you nearly spend that much on batteries over here. So, great. I got the box, got the games and stuff, and some batteries. The internal battery seems okay. Whatnot. Obviously it's missing the stylus, but that's not the biggest thing in the world. You can use any stylus. The only thing is, it does work. Gamecom, it's active. But there's no real point turning into the screen because the chances of the camera picking up is pretty low. But I will do anyway. The screen has a line through it, dead pixel type of line. But it also fades kind of in and out. I mean, the contrast in the screen is legendarily pants anyway. But this is, I think this is a step beyond that. I think the screen is... So that was pretty much that for the car boots. It was freezing and whatnot, but by Irish standards, it was a damn success. So, what else was there? No, a few bits that I picked up kind of on the travels during the week. I seem to be doing this the opposite way around to say 2G UK words. The weekly stuff and then at the end with the car boots. But given that the car boot was older than that, I figured start with that. Picked up a game in the charity shop for the GameCube, The Simpsons Hit and Run. My sister actually had this back in the day. It's a decent kind of Grand Theft Auto style, free roaming game. Some reasonable Simpsons humour. Now I'm opening it saying it's complete. There's a little story behind that. The charity shop I picked this up, it was sealed in it pretty much, but it didn't have like a Nintendo bar around it, and I couldn't remember if third-party GameCube games came with a Nintendo seal or was it just first-party ones. So basically, I was sitting there thinking, is this actually a sealed game or a resealed game? So I said, sod it. Basically broke the seal at the side so I could open it and see that the contents were actually in there. I said, okay, fine, it's all in there. I'll pay the €2 for it. It's a decent game, worth picking out if you like a bit of a GTA type of clone. That was it for the charity shops. The only other thing was trip to CEX. A few cheapy bits, nothing too remarkable. First up was Star Wars Starfighter on the PlayStation 2, obviously. I don't know why I was struggling with that. It's got the PlayStation logo all over it. So it's complete, and it was $150, and those prices you really can't go wrong. Looks like I thought from the back it was going to basically be a Rogue Squadron type of game, but it seemed to be a bit more on rails, so not so sure about that one, to be honest. And we have Maximo on the PlayStation 2 again. Pseudo sequel to Ghouls and Ghosts, which is why I picked it up. It was only €1, but sadly no manual. Disc is okay, but by God, it seemed to be taking a hell of a long time to load, so I think there might be some scuffs kind of slowing it down, but it does just about work, I think. And it takes I only have one memory card for the PlayStation 2, because believe it or not, they're not that easy to find over here. CEX is about your best bet, and they're looking for like £5 or £6, which seems ridiculous for a PlayStation 2 memory card. So I'm constantly running out of memory, and so I actually haven't been able to play this one because it takes 380 blocks or something. Okay, but now or never, we'll give it a shot when we can. So finally then, an Xbox game, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and this was $150 as well. It's the classics release. I know a lot of people frown on those, but as I said before, for the PlayStation, for the kind of not quite retro, not quite modern stuff, I'm really not pushed if it's classics or platinum or player choice or those type of things. And it was complete, and it actually is Xbox 360 compatible. I haven't really tried it out other than to make sure it worked. But yeah, if you're looking for an Xbox 360 game, it does work. Oh, while I'm on that topic of compatibility, I was playing a bit of Vice City, because that's probably my favourite. At least I like the music in it the most. I played the first few missions and was just kind of starting to get a bit more beyond the here's how you move, here's how you do that, the kind of tutorial stuff. And the bloody game just crashes and it goes, there's been a problem with this Xbox, original title. Xbox has to exit now. Very annoying. I don't know, is that a general issue with this game, or is it basically only partially compatible? What's the story? It doesn't really bother me because, of course, I have an Xbox, so if I want to really play them, I'll just play them on the Xbox. But just thought I'd mention it in case. So anyway, there's the stuff from the kind of car boots and out and about. Maybe not the craziest stuff, but I was happy nonetheless to pick up a new system in the car boot. That was completely remarkable for me, even if it's not the best system in the world. And I just kicked the camera, so you probably want to woo. Yeah, I must be getting tired. Best leave it there. Thanks as always for watching. Don't forget to check out the Wreck-It Ralph competition if you haven't already. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Always appreciated. And thanks to everyone who subscribed in the last little while. Again, I don't shout you out as much as I should do, but it's always appreciated. And we'll see you again soon with another video. And it's either going to be a Master System gameplay, if I'm in the mood for it, which I kind of was after playing Afterburner, or a Project Games Room update. Probably Project Games Room update. We'll see though. Until next time.